Hey everybody, what's up? My name is Doug and this is video number 3 of my series with the Captician around cleaning and maintaining your baseball caps. Today what we're going to do is take a look at deep cleaning of your caps using the Captician's cleaning kit, which does have a stain remover and sanitizer spray included in that. So what we'll be doing today is taking on this old, what I call tourist cap. Now I've had this around for a few years. It's a white cap. It's made out of polyester. I probably picked it up to shield my eyes from the sun on some weekend getaway a few years ago. But in any case, it's got plenty of opportunities to get rid of some surface dirt and some stains with the Captician's kit. So that's what I'm going to work through today. Basically just cleaning this up and showing you how you can use some of these techniques to clean up the caps that might be in your collection and need either deep cleaning or restoration. Now, before we get started with the cleaning, just a quick reminder that because of my partnership with the Captician, we are offering a discount code. If you scroll down a bit to the description, you'll find links to the Captician's primary website, and there you can enter the code dRe616 or dRe616 to get 15% off your order there. Now, it's a great product, but it also does help my channel if you use that code. So I'd appreciate your support, and I know the Captician would as well. So even I have posted cleaning videos where I deep clean and I submerge the main crown body of the cap in a bucket of water and do a little bit of cleaning with detergent, soaps, and things like that. The Captician approach with this kit is a little bit different in that it relies on very minimal amounts of water, and it's a very careful cleaning process with your caps. Basically, you're using a small water mister to dampen the areas that are affected. Now, misting a large area around the stain is really important because any remaining stain particles after cleaning will spread out and become less visible, and it prevents the formation of what we call tide marks, or basically rings, showing a boundary around the area. And then there's a stain remover and sanitizer spray that helps you get out those stains that might be affecting your cap, no matter where they are on the cap. So it will pull those base stains out from the fabric of your cap, whether that's in the sweatband, whether that's on the body of the cap, the visor, etc. Perhaps the first thing to remember with this kit is that you need to be patient. It may take 1 or 2 passes to get some really concrete results, and then to fully clean the cap, you may need to do it 2 or 3 times over about a 24-hour period. There will be times during this process where you're really going to want to scrub when you're cleaning, and you want to avoid that. It can actually damage the cap. You can give it a sort of a fuzzy appearance if you abrade the fabric too much by scrubbing. Preliminary steps, you want to test the stain remover spray on a small, unseen area of the cap that you're trying. So you could go inside of the crown on the fabric, somewhere that's not going to be highly visible, and just test a little bit of that and watch for any changes in color or texture of the fabric. Now, it might get a little darker because it's going to be wet with the stain remover spray. Now, that's pretty natural, but if you see any abnormal changes of color or you see any running of color or anything like that, this is something you're not going to want to use. Secondly, if there's any still wet stains on your cap, you'll want to go ahead and take an absorbent cloth and blot those dry, which is a perfect segue to the next step, which is you want to brush the cap thoroughly to remove any dry debris, lint, hair, etc. And that was actually video number 1 in my series with the Captician. I put a link up here so that you can go see that if you need to. Next step is to grab the water mister bottle that comes in the Captician's kit. Alternately, you can use just a small spray bottle, fill that with tap water. And what you want to do is just give it a light, even spray of water to dampen the area where you want to go to work on a stain. Then you want to grab the stain remover sanitizer spray from the Captician's kit and give that also a light, even spray across that same area that you just dampened with the water. Now, what you want to have in hand and ready to go at this point is a soft absorbent cloth that has been dampened with warm water. So I tend to like having just a bowl of warm water next to me. Now, warm water is actually pretty important here because it helps to activate the cleaning formula and should give you better results than if you were using just room temperature or cooler water. And a lot of times I'll take the cloths that come in the Captician's kit, which are basically just white washcloths, but you can use an absorbent cloth of any kind as long as it's clean. And you just want to dampen that with the warm water. And then what you want to do is go to work on that stain. So what you want to do is sort of blot and lightly rub the stain, and you want to work from the outside of the stain towards the center of the stain. So you want to work around the edges, blot, and slightly rub. Again, resist the temptation to scrub it. We don't want a fuzzy fabric when we're done with this. So just blot and lightly rub and work your way in towards the center of the stain. Now, as you're doing this, you want to keep on circulating the surface of that washcloth or that absorbent cloth. You want to keep on giving it a fresh surface so that if you are removing the stain, that you're continually exposing it to cleaner areas of that cloth so that you keep removing the stain from the cap itself. Now, I would just say keep going until you've removed just about everything that you can see. Sometimes, because it's wet and you're working hard to remove those stains, you may miss a few areas that'll come up again when it's dry. But this is why I said at the beginning, you may have to be patient. It might take 2 or 3 applications of this over about a 24-hour period for you to achieve full results. But other than that, you're ready to let this dry once you've worked on all the areas that you wanted to. And what I recommend for this is if you have one, I would put a bump cap insert inside the cap. I've got a video on that up here again. An insert of some kind is very important because this is a wet cap now, and as it dries, it does have a tendency to shrink. Certainly that's more affected with wool, but polyester might as well. So you want to maintain that shape and size by keeping something inside of it when it's drying. And if you don't have a bump cap insert, you can certainly stuff a towel in there, or if you have access to some other form, you can also throw it on that approximates the shape of a baseball cap. So full drying, you can check and see if it's dry to the touch. It might take an hour or 2 for full natural drying. If you want, you can use a hair dryer to accelerate that, but I'd recommend it on a cool setting. So again, that you're not affecting the size or shape of the cap by heat shrinking it. Now, after that is dry, you want to inspect the cap, and you may find that some of the stains where you were working, there's still some evidence of those. Now, the thing where I've really noticed this is particularly sweat stains on the undervisor, especially if it's a black undervisor. Those tend to take a couple of passes to get out. I actually had an old LA Dodgers 3930 by New Era, and I had to do 2 or maybe even 3 passes to get all the sweat stains off of that undervisor. But in general, you just want to give it the once over to see if you got to make another run at some of these stains that you're trying to remove. Now, depending on the nature of where you are coming from and the nature of the stains in your cap, you may not be able to get it back to perfect, immaculate condition the way it was when you brought it home from the store, but you can still get pretty close. So to wrap it up, I'll just put a couple of pictures on the screen of a little bit of the before and after with that white cap that I did so much work on here. Also, I will show some samples of the undervisor from the Dodgers cap that I repeatedly cleaned to remove sweat stains there. And you can get a sense from these photos how far we've come in terms of cleaning and restoring these caps or cap areas. I think many of my viewers would agree that it's probably worth it to put in the effort and investment to cleaning and restoring your caps because they're quite expensive now. And if you have a certain design that you manage to get hold of, it's probably not out there anymore for sale, and you want to take care of the caps that you have, especially if they've become favorites. So I always find this worth it to preserve those caps that you have, and using something like the Captician's kit really goes a long way towards preserving and maintaining those caps for a long, long time. So again, if you want to order the Captician's cleaning kit, you will find links in the description below. And if you enter the code dRe15 or dRe616, you will also get 15% off your order at that time. In the description below, you will also find links to some of my best videos for stretching, shrinking, shaping, and otherwise editing your caps. So check those out if you are further interested. But other than that, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.